at a time when we are deep in recession. We need more jobs and more investment, and particularly from the private sector than ever before. Most of our governments, be it at the national level, state, county, or municipal level, are strapped for cash. So this is a moment in our history and in the state of Illinois when more private investment is better. But today, as we look across the landscape, the new initiative that was set forth after the General Assembly wisely voted both houses for this sort of Illinois stimulus plan without money coming directly from the government, I should say. The Illinois Commerce Commission decided that it was wiser than the people who were elected to serve the people of Illinois. And their decision would make it fiscally impossible for ComEd to invest at the level that they had hoped to do. As part of the Smart Grid law, ComEd would provide $50 million in relief funding to assist low-income residents, senior citizens, disabled veterans, and active members of the armed services. This lifeline is crucial to protecting the most vulnerable members of our community. At a time when our state is reeling from unemployment and folks are losing their homes, it is morally wrong to impede any program that not only aims to help residents and create sorely needed jobs. So let's not count the faith community and the churches out. They are a powerful moral force that once mobilized can sustain an effort to bring about effective change, which is one of the reasons why we chose to join this effort in a house of faith, to send the message that the people of faith are ready to support a morally sound law and a morally sound program, and to engage in an effort to persuade those who would not believe that it is our job to take care of the least of God's children. And so we stand here willing and able to engage and urge the Illinois Commerce Commission to do the right thing when it rehears this ruling and protect our community's future, our community's jobs, our community's residents by reversing its previous decision and allowing ComEd to continue its modernization program as outlined in the Smart Grid law.
We know that not only that those jobs will be created here in the city of Chicago and the Chicago area, but it's also in Rockford, which is also in a position to have a stimulation project going forward. We need to put our voices out there and let them be heard. We can't sit back and just complain about not having jobs. We need to know or let those individuals who have the capacity to create those jobs know that we want them and we want them now. So I'm not going to beat that drum anymore at this second. I know we have other individuals here who will speak who are just as frustrated as you are and as I am, that know that enough is enough. Give me a job, give me an opportunity. Thank you.
As Pastor Finney stated, when you have senior homes and those senior homes are shut down, some of them have generators. We try to get them generators, but it doesn't always work. And in one of my senior homes, they have a serious home care there for them. And a lot of times that mini hospital needs power for these machines to help people stay alive. So not only does it affect the seniors, the single mom and pops that are working, how do they leave their kids at home with no power? It's a very safety issue factor as well. I don't have to tell you, it hurts our community when power is off in the summer because the food that you have in the refrigerator spoils, and let's face it, not everybody is working today. So the food and the milk that we have in our homes today means a lot for our kids, for my constituents. So I please ask the ICC to reconsider or come up with a solution that can work together with ComEd other than saying no. Please help my district to stay safe, to have electricity. The power that ComEd provides now is outdated. The smart grid, from what I'm told, needs to be new lines underground, new transformers that can actually put power on with the turn of the button when we have bad weather due to snow or heavy rains and wind. I'm just trying to do what's right for my community. Thank you.
And Governor Quinn said that he was going to be the governor of the people, of the middle class, of the working poor. And what has happened since then is quite atrocious and quite conflicting. If you recall, and I want to remind my good friend Pat Quinn, that if it were not for the poor and the middle class and the working poor, and it weren't for the blacks and the Latinos in Chicago, in Cook County, he would not be in office today. And so when we asked him, when we got him elected, because no one south of I-80 voted for him. Nobody. Not one county, with the exception of Cook County, stood up for Pat Quinn. And we told him that we wanted a governor that was for the people, because he was going to be of the people. Governor Quinn makes it a point to say at every speech, I'm going to make the will of the people the law of the land. Yeah, right. Will of the people, the law. The will of the people was smart grid. We passed legislation. He turned it down. He vetoed it. We overrode his veto and told him it's the will of the people to invest in our infrastructure, to keep our senior homes lit, to keep our schools lit, to keep our streets lit, to put people back to work, to train blacks and Latinos from Rockford to southeast Chicago, to train poor folks and train folks that don't have a job, don't have a skill. We need training facilities on the south side of Chicago. Who else is going to put these people to work? You know, are the Colgates and the O'Connells and the McCabe's and the Scotts? What do they know about putting poor folks back to work and training them?
My name is Omar Duque. I'm the president and CEO of the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and it's an honor for me to be here this morning. Our organization is the largest community of Hispanic-owned businesses in the state of Illinois and in the Midwest. We are the businesses that are employing people in our community. We are in the West Side, in the South Side, in Little Village, in Cicero, in Berwyn, and all the communities that our communities live in. We are not Bain Capital. We do not represent the interests of corporations large that say, you know, that would rather see our community fail. We are the businesses that are looking for opportunities. We are the businesses from within our communities, and frankly, our businesses need opportunities to hire more people, to employ more people, and to contribute to the vitality of our communities. And I'm here because this issue is about two things. It is about jobs, yes. It is about investing $2 billion in our infrastructure to put people back to work. But it also is about our community. How many people, and can I have a show of hands, how many of you have lost your power in the last 2 years? So the ICC, in their ruling, said that this is about cost. The that it is about the rate increase that ComEd will do in order to modernize their system, in order to bring about smart grid. But I want to ask everybody here, when your power goes out, there's cost to that. There is a cost. If you have food in the refrigerator, that's a cost. You lose that. If you have milk, I have 2 very small children. If we lose that, that's a cost to me. The Reverend talked about senior homes, about seniors that are hooked up to medical devices. There is a potential loss of life, loss of health. That is a cost. That is a cost too high to bear. And so Senator Sandoval talked about ICC being out of touch. That is being out of touch. That is not recognizing the cost that their decision is going to have on real people's lives. You lose a gallon of milk, you lose some bread, you lose some stuff in the freezer. That's a cost, that's tough. You lose a life, you can't put a dollar amount on that. And that's what's at stake here. Smart grid is an investment in that infrastructure. Look, we can't stop storms. But we can, when there's a storm and the power goes off, smart grid will say, power's off there, let's switch it back on. Get it up, hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Not 2, 3, 4, 5 days. That's what's at risk here. Yes, we want jobs, we want to invest in our infrastructure, but this is about people's lives, this is about people's livelihoods, and this is about doing what is right. And the thing is, what gets me, it's already done. The legislature already did it. They took the tough vote. Look, it's not easy. It's not easy to say you can raise your rates. That's not an easy vote to take, but they did it. It was done. It has been done, and they are trying to reverse it, and that is wrong. That is costing people opportunity. That is costing people's livelihoods, and it potentially, God forbid, can cost somebody's life.
The vision with which ComEd has designed its plan to transform the electrical system serving northern Illinois is exactly the big picture thinking that we need in Illinois. We at CBA actually provide training on that subject. And one of the main features of such training is focused on helping companies plan for the future on the basis of predictable revenues. So when we came to understand that the recent ICC order will make it very difficult for ComEd to have the certainty it needs to make long-term investments, we were surprised. We hope that the ICC will recognize that ComEd is not looking for special treatment, but rather for the opportunity to simply proceed in the manner authorized by the General Assembly. Thank you.
We all know that new jobs have been hard to come by, especially for those in the construction industry. We need these opportunities for Chicagoans to get back to work, and the smart grid legislation created an environment to expand and modernize businesses to provide overall economic growth. This legislation has already resulted in many well-paying, skilled jobs for Illinois workers while providing a boost to other local industries. ComEd has long been an important force for economic development and a provider for opportunities to the Hispanic and other minority-owned and operated businesses. In fact, ComEd is increasing opportunities for minority-owned and women-owned businesses by over 15% over a 10-year period, which represents close to $10 million. The power grid is a critical piece of the state's physical and economic infrastructure, and it needs to be modernized. We, on behalf of HACIA and our board of directors, urge the ICC to look at what our state leaders were hoping to accomplish with this important legislation and to seriously consider the impact that their decision could have on job seekers, small businesses, and our state as a whole.
When you get a job, that changes your life in a big way. And all of a sudden, the ICC comes along and says, wait a minute, we don't care what the legislature voted for. We don't care about the will of the people. We're going to change that too. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's an uncertainty that we didn't expect. We figured once this thing happened, it was going. And so we all, my business and so many others, have worked so hard to support this because ComEd said something, and they meant it, that this thing would ramp up quickly, right? So we want to get that smart grid in place so our senior citizens are smarter consumers. We want all this to happen quickly. All of a sudden, the ICC steps in and slows it down. It's wrong if they don't reverse themselves. It's bad for my business. It's bad for hundreds of other businesses. And it's bad for the state of Illinois. Thank you.
As a direct result of the smart grid law, we've hired 15 electricians to inspect manholes, perform other grid work at a $42 an hour rate. These employees have been unemployed for an average of 24 months. Thank you. The employees I'm talking about have been unemployed for an average of 24 months. These are people that can't afford not to work. We have the uncertainty now that we were anticipating hiring another 15 electricians within the next 6 months that are being put on hold right now due to the ICC. My own company has also invested in new utility trucks and equipment and dedicated warehouse on 80th and Exchange to support the EMA program. We're doing the work and making investments in Illinois that the General Assembly envisioned when it passed the smart grid bill. To my company, this is not a legal or regulatory issue. It's a matter of whether I hire people or not hire people. I urge the ICC to get the grid modernization back on track in its rear hearing and for our elected officials to continue to pursue policies that will help create jobs and investment in the Illinois economy. Thank you.
It is time for the governor of the state of Illinois to listen to we the people. It's time for the governor of the state of Illinois to listen to the people who are hurting and need jobs in order to take care of their families. It's time for the governor of the state of Illinois to appoint a commission that represents the people rather than representing the narrow interests of lobbyists who are paid and hired hands. I personally worked to help put Governor Pat Quinn in office, always assuming that since he and I enjoy this title of being fellow organizers, I always thought that he would be a governor that would stand for justice and right and morality. This is a sad day that I look at when I look across the spectrum, when our own governor, one who came out of us, decides that he is going to side with the narrow interests against the people. I'm hoping that this message gets to the governor today. But guess what? If it doesn't get to the governor today, it'll get to him tomorrow. And wait a minute, don't clap me up, because I ain't got but a minute to talk. And if it does not get, if that Illinois Commerce Commission does not vote the right way, mark my words and write them down clear. If that Illinois Commerce Commission does not vote the right way, there will be hell to pay. Plain and simple. We will not step up. We will not turn around. We will not turn around until the Illinois Commerce Commission supports the people of the state of Illinois and support doing what is right, morally right, in order to put our people back to work and build a strong economy in the state of Illinois. And you can run and tell that.